All right, welcome everyone for the first Q&A session of the week for August 31st. This is our first week of September coming up, starts in the middle of the week, and we are off to our private Q&A. All right, we got Rashul with a bunch of non-trading questions. I already did a political rant on the public stream. Jesus, Patrick, that's a lot of tickers. Do I have time to check them all? I'm gonna try and do it fast. Let's do the pricing. Those are the tickers first, and then we can do some politics. Man. Jesus. Yeah, so I added you to that group, the alert group. I got a couple of friends in there that seriously trade the MRI. Man, I'm sure they'd love to work with you as well. And check out that service that we're going to launch publicly very soon. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with your list. Screen share. Here we go. I got all of your tickers. Okay, recap. Let's do the recap. I want to do the recap. We're starting with JMIA. I remain bullish on this trade. Yes, I know there is a red one on the MRI, and the weekly is on a red, and the monthly is on a red. But this is still a bullish trend, and we have broken the moving average. So for me, I mean, assuming you got into the trade properly with the daily and weekly MRI, I would just set my stop loss below Friday's low and pray that we make it all the way up to the true level of resistance before hitting that low. So that's where I stand right now with that as my stop loss. Next, we have Baba. Alibaba. Beautiful. Look at that. This is the daily chart. We had a weekly MRI buy and a monthly MRI buy. And if I look at these charts, we are reversing. Alibaba is looking strong. And I would just set my stop loss to pretty much break just below this swing low. And I would let this trade run. The next level of resistance is sitting at the declining moving average. And let's see how Alibaba handles it. Another nice trade. Next, we have GM. A GM follow-up. Beautiful buy on the daily chart along with the weekly. Yeah, it's dragging feet a little bit. You can see the entry point as we talked about last time. I would now certainly raise the stop loss. I'm going to do it like this. This should be a no-risk trade. If you entered properly right there at the end of that day with the MRI buy and the weekly MRI buy, looking at the weekly chart, we might be just getting started here. I mean, I don't like the overall picture here, and the market has been bullish like crazy, and the market might need to pull back. However, I would just set that stop loss maybe below this swing low. Set it to be a break-even trade and see if you can get out with some profit up there. Should be going up a little bit faster. I don't know, dragging feet a little bit here, but hey, all good positive trades. All right, let's move on to the new possibilities. Let's look at Sam. See, I'm not a big fan of this. I see the weekly MRI buy, but the daily chart just looks absolutely disastrous. Oh, I forgot to show something during the public stream. Shit. Damn it. That sucks. Oh, well, it is what it is. Damn. I forgot. I'll show it to you guys. Somebody asked the other day for an alert service for stocks that lose 50% of their value. And one of my developers put together a list These are all the stocks, I think, in the NASDAQ that are down 50% within 6 months of their IPOs. So I mean, I don't have time to go through this, but maybe we will. I don't know how much time. I have an appointment with the bank at 2 p.m. But anyway, we'll see what we get to. Let's look at the weekly chart. Yeah, oh man. This is beautiful. This is an extension C and the second consecutive MRI buy, but I don't see any strength yet. The tone-based volume had a neutral candle, but we're trading lower today. Man, I would keep this on a watch list. I mean, things can. I mean, did this company create cancer or something? How do you? Wow, they're down a lot. They're down a lot. Boston Beer Company, really? You can't sell beer in the middle of a pandemic where no one has anything better to do than drink alcohol? Yeah, this is good. This needs to be on a buy watch list. That could be a nice buy the dip. That's a great find. I would just wait for a little bit of strength. A little bit of strength. Maybe the daily MRI buy, maybe the next daily MRI buy is going to reverse this thing. I wouldn't buy today, but I would keep this on a watch list for sure. For sure. Audio is great. All right, that's good to hear. Hold on, I'm just reorganizing a couple of things on my screen here. All right, I gotta take a look at another stock for a friend right now, T-Doc. T-Doc. Trying to figure out what this line represents. That's kind of like my breakout line. I don't like the red star. I'm still leaning bullish here off this pickup. But I would set my stop loss right below these lows, if not right there. Like if tomorrow was a shitty day, I would be out. Just not performing like I would like it to. Okay. Oh, they went short. You went short on a red star. Interesting. Yeah, I would have a little bit more confidence in the short trade. If I was to enter a trade on this right now, I would rather enter a short. Now, if I was in a long trade, I would just set a tight stop loss. But if I was in a short trade, that's why that line was over there. Yeah, if I was in a short trade, I would just set a stop loss above the swing highs. And once this thing breaks this support line, this thing can really go down and go down hard. It's in a serious bear market. Oh, the red star just went away, probably because of an uptick. You need to solidify that red star if it keeps going down. All right, next, farm. Farm is on a weekly MRI buy, and look at the strength today. I may stay a little bit patient, wait for tomorrow. And tomorrow, if we're breaking the top of today, that could be a potential trade. I wouldn't fault anyone for going long today. If you are, in fact, I'm going to put in a long trade here just for future reference, where I should do these earlier in the day, because the stop loss is so simple. It's right below the swing low. You are taking a shot at the weekly scale. For now, let's just see if we can get into the 200-day moving average, because the 50 period is dropping way too quickly. I love this candle on a weekly scale, a true reversal candle on a weekly scale. You can see how the last MRI buy, while a little bit tricky and needed some patience, did really well in this asset. And the last MRI buy came after a massive correction, a really massive correction. So yeah, this thing does have the ability to oscillate, go up and down historically. It's a little lower historically than you otherwise would like it to be, but that is a $7 stock that was just at 50 bucks not that long ago. So yeah, it's nice. I like it. Nice find. As usual, Patrick, great job. Uber and Lyft. Uber, I don't like the strength of this candle, but I like the MRI buy here. Uber has been pretty depressed. I've been using them. People are starting to go outside more. So yeah, Uber might not be a bad one either. Not a fan of today's candle, but once again, you have a very low risk trade here. Your stop loss is just below the swing lows, and target, I don't know, just play it by ear, but I mean, the MRI resistance line is all the way up there. So, I mean, we can do the 200-day moving average. That's a very low risk trade. I can even extend my risk a little bit. You can wait till tomorrow as well, just to make sure there's a green candle before you get in. Nice finds. Lyft supported. Lyft is good too. I prefer Uber. Look at how Lyft is respecting the MRI support and resistance. I like the Lyft trade as well. You can also wait till tomorrow. Oops. Slightly more risk. You can shoot for something like that. Remember, I just randomly choose these. I'm not really putting that much analysis into it. Man, we need some breakout trades. Like everyone wants to always cherry pick, the top and the bottom, but breakouts are tricky. What's the deal with Coca-Cola? I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Yeah, I'm still bullish here. I would wait for a green star candle. I would wait for a breakout, and a breakout above this area might be really good for Coca-Cola. So bullish on the breakout. SJM. Oh, I'm on weekly scales because I'm retarded. Those were weekly scales on Lyft and Uber too. I like this candle. Yeah, I like the candle. Very clean stop loss. Let's go back to Coca-Cola. Daily scale. MRI buy. Yeah, that looks good. I was looking at the weekly scale. Stop loss is now a little bit. Yeah, because if this thing breaks out on a weekly scale, it can really move. Lyft, we're going backwards now. Daily scale. Yeah, that's fine. That's a weekly trade. And Uber. Daily scale. Yep, that's a weekly trade. So on a daily scale, you can certainly go like that. Yeah, we look good. Oh, not C. Tiger. Man, that's rough. You had a daily MRI within a weekly MRI, which shrank and you went lower. So, I mean, I'm still bullish, but I would have had my stop loss hit. And earnings is coming, so I would probably stay away from Tiger. CBD, is that a marijuana company? Looks really good. Very bullish here. Weekly MRI buy. Looks nice after a big drop. 50%. Looks good. Looks good. This one I like. JT. This one I don't like. The MRI buy was a weak candle and it continued to go lower. I know there's not much further this thing can fall. That's a weekly scale. I'd kind of stay away from this. It fell from $90, $75 down to $1.50. Whatever technology they're building is totally useless, and the stock price proves it. And it looks like a bad. I'd stay away from this. I know it's a cheap stock, but I don't like lottery tickets. There's a reason why government profits from the lottery. Again, MRI buy, weak candle, current candle closing lower, cheap stock making all-time lows. I'm gonna stay away from it for the same reason. AVCT. I don't like it either. Whatever the hell this was, and then the crash. I would stay away from this. The MRI doesn't seem to be very useful on this asset. The MRI candle was weak, followed by more weakness. I'd stay away from all of this. And they're too cheap to short, so I just stay away from all of them. BIPC. Dividend day. I don't see much here. That's a weekly. Here's the daily. Nice reversal candle. It is a little bit cyclical. Look at this beautiful MRI buy. I mean, how do you mark the low, reversal candle, consolidated for a little bit? Not really sure why it's a red star candle. I may have to check my math there. Seems a little strange. But look at that beautiful run up, 25%. Broke the resistance and kept going. I don't see that this time. I like the reversal candle. Maybe wait for a moving average crossover. Maybe wait for a breakout. But I don't see it. I don't see it. GB. Weekly and daily MRIs. I don't like the candle. I would stay a little bit patient. Definitely keep it on a watch list. Looks like a recent IPO, which has fallen 57% from the early swing high. That's a candidate. Global Blue Group Holdings. No idea what they do. It's a candidate. No, the last time we had an MRI buy was a nice 2-candle correction. Then more downside. The correction of the close was 15%. You could have taken it the next day. Still got 10% out of it. Wait for a little bit of strength. Volume seems disastrous and random. I'd wait for a little bit of strength here. I wouldn't rush into it. VMD. This one may not be too bad. Keep it on the watch list. The last MRI didn't do anything. This one may do something. That's the weekly MRI. Keeping an eye on that now. I'd wait for a break of a moving average. Hasn't done that in a while. If it consolidates into a moving average, that could be something. Yeah, this last set isn't very impressive to me. There's always something hitting MRIs. Again, I don't like this chart structure. I'd wait for a little bit of strength here as well. All right, last list. I'm going to look at another one first. FAF. Interesting. Look at the last MRI top. Took the price down 10%. It's pretty good for a stock. I like this. If there's any weakness tomorrow, that's definitely exit or a short possibility on a weekly scale, and on a daily scale, you are hitting an MRI top tomorrow. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely a candidate for a potential top. Great job by Vinay to find this one. I like this. We're gonna put it in. I'm gonna give it a little more leniency because of the weekly MRI top and the daily MRI tomorrow, and I don't know what they will bring, but I would be looking for a correction here. Back to the prior swing highs, maybe a little bit higher. But this thing will probably come down and very quickly. Just want to give it a little bit of wiggle room for the weekly MRI buy, MRI sell, sorry. All right, final list of stocks from Patrick. UPH. See, this is a little bit better. You are further away from the moving average, so you got room for a pullback similar to the last time. It is on a daily MRI buy. The weeklies are still very negative, so be careful. But, you know, nice risk reward here. Maybe up to the next moving average. We haven't hit it in a while. Something like that. I don't like this. It's a very illiquid stock. Not a big fan. It is a cheapie. Lower that a smidge. But I like those candles. ARCE. Ah, beautiful. See, this is a little bit tricky. However, this is a beautiful doji candle. Normally, the rules are you wait till you break the top of the doji to go long. You can see neither of these candles have done that. Stop loss could have been below the prior candle or below the swing low. Had it been below the swing low, you're good to go. But if it was below the prior candle, then you got totally screwed. You got stopped out, and now you're crying in a corner. Am I bullish or bearish? I'm bullish. This is the daily chart. Not crazy bullish. Maybe as far as the resistance line. This is a $24 stock, so it's still potentially shortable. Coming to it a little bit late. I would have loved to pick it up earlier in the day, somewhere over here, with a stop loss below the swing low. But tomorrow, if you trade above current candle, I would already put a break-even stop loss in. We're not going to cheat, so we're going to put the entry here. I'm going to be conservative with my stop loss, even though it's in the middle of nowhere now. And target is the MRI resistance. MTEM, 3 stocks to go, guys. Molecular templates, I hate this candle on a daily scale. Anything useful on a weekly? There is not. I don't like this chart structure. I would not rush into this trade. CVGW. Let's see what tomorrow brings. This is a big downtrend. You have a second consecutive MRI buy coming, but so are earnings, not tomorrow, but next week. On a daily scale, we had an MRI buy which marked the low, which is enough to enter a very low risk bullish trade. Lots of choices here. And finally, we have Go. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The right way to trade the reversal candles with the MRI is to wait for the following candle to break the top of that candle. So the proper trade would be going long right here and setting a stop loss to below the swing low. That stop loss should now be moved to the bottom of current candle and see how high this thing can go. I would still be bullish on this asset. The weekly should be reversing soon with an MRI, which may not come actually. This may flip to a bullish count. It has fallen a lot. So, a move back to the mean is reasonable. I don't want to cherry pick this. We found it today. I wouldn't buy it today. I would consider it a missed opportunity. But if I did buy it today, I would just buy now and set the stop loss at today's low. But you're certainly late to the party. This stop loss at today's low should be your break-even stop loss, not a 3% loss stop loss. But I like this chart and I want to go back to it one day, so I'll put that in there just in case. All right, that's good. Patrick, that's a lot of assets, man. I don't know how you find the time to cover all of this. Jovi, thank you for joining us. COE ticker. I like the breakout right here, and it's a weekly MRI buy. The low is already in. The weekly MRI buy is coming a day late, happened on extension C. I still like this breakout, especially now that it's breaking the prior swing high. So I will also make this as a reference. Right there, your stop loss. I would keep it below the swing low for a bit, but you could almost already set it to below the moving average. So I'll probably be more conservative and set it below the moving average. Great stock. Hopefully you got in already. Raise your hands, guys, if you want to say something. I'll try to pay attention. All right, I think that's the end of the stock list. And then we have a bunch of non-trading questions. And I've already gone off on my political chat in the live stream. So let's see what we can do here. Do you believe politicians vaccinated themselves too? I believe the dumb politicians that are useful idiots, or the ones that are they're in bad health, did vaccinate. But I believe the smarter ones didn't. Guys, you have to realize that if you work for the White House, if you work for the FDA, if you work for the CDC, if you work for Pfizer or AstraZeneca or Johnson & Johnson, if you work for any of these companies that are pushing the vaccines, you do not have to vaccinate to keep your job. Only everybody else. So no, I do not believe that a lot of these politicians did not take the vaccine. I do not believe them at all. Why would they have shifted feeding the cow from grass to corn? It's cheaper, it's easier. In order to feed your cow grass, you actually have to let the cows walk the earth. In order to feed your cow corn, you can keep it in a cage. So obviously, it's cheaper to keep a cow in a cage, requires less employees. And there's a corn subsidy. Like corn is really cheap. Grass is not exactly free. You have to buy land. And you have to maintain that land for the grass. To confirm in a wheat versus rice comparison, you believe that wheat is more bad because of gluten, correct? Yes, that is correct. I would much rather eat rice than wheat. I prefer tickers. It's hard for me to find some of these stuff. Suntech and or a decent independent size. You gotta give me tickers. Suntech. Looks like an Indian company. Beautiful MRI top on Suntech on the daily. Green star on daily. I'm leaning bullish here on the daily, and I am leaning neutral on the weekly. Mother Sumi. Oh, these are the tickers. Shit, I'm dealing with India. MRI is not working on this one. Why not? There it is. Oh, beautiful MRI buy along with extension C. Not beautiful, but good enough. I think it's a little too late to go long. I would just wait. It might pull back into the crossover. People think fiber in the food we eat improves digestion. Do you agree with this? No, I don't. I do not agree with this. I think the whole fiber, you have to eat fiber is kind of bullshit. If you eat food that your body can properly digest, you don't need fiber. Vegetables are mostly fiber because vegetables, you can't digest them. So you have to then shit them out. Like if you eat mostly meat and fish, you're not going to have any problems going to the toilet, and you're going to be going to the toilet a hell of a lot less. And you're going to think that it's because you're not getting enough fiber. No, it's because you're actually digesting your food and you don't have enough waste for a need to sit on a toilet. Like to me, anyone that sits on a toilet every day is not eating the right food. Should sit on a toilet maybe twice a week. That's what happens when you eat the right food. And you won't have any problems either. You can start Googling this, like do you really need fiber? And the answer is you don't. I know farm fresh chicken is great, but if someone chooses frozen chicken, I don't like chicken. I mean, you can freeze your beef for a long time. I stay away from chicken. I just eat the eggs and the liver. Those are the only parts of the chicken. Eggs and liver, that's it. Chicken hearts, maybe. Yeah, I freeze my beef, but I hate frozen chicken. I really hate frozen chicken. If you would be comfortable, would you like to share what all exactly caused your family to leave the Soviet Union when you left the country? I did a podcast with Bitcoin Mechanic. You should probably just go to Bitcoin Mechanic's YouTube channel, and you should be able to find it there. We kind of discussed it for like an hour. I don't want to get into it now. All right, last two, guys. Last two. NVTA. Short at the 50 period. Oh, I like this. We have a beautiful doji candle, the MRI top, and the 50-day moving average rejection. Now, according to the rules, you should wait to short this at the break of the doji's low. Beautiful MRI buy. Wow. Who found this? Steve, great job. I think I know who Steve is. All right. Yeah, this is nice. Hope you bought the MRI buy, made profit on the upside. And now I am definitely leaning bearish here for a potential reversal. Yeah, I mean, chicken is, I don't want to say chicken's a vegetable, but if you're gonna be utilizing the meat diet, stick to red meat. Pork, beef, lamb, game meats. I stay away from chicken, duck, and turkey. That's what I do, unless it's livers or eggs. All right, guys. I think I'm done. I think I am done. We're gonna cut the screen share. Oh, I had that list. I'll take a look at it. I'll try to take a look at it tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm flying to LA, but maybe not early enough in the day so I can get a stream in if I wake up early enough. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Oh, maybe I should promote the conference in Dubai and the conference in Dubai, and of course my website for the private Q&A that you are listening to this weekend publicly is where we are right now. All right, guys, this went on a little bit longer than expected. See you all on the next one. All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the private Q&A session for September 2nd. Today is Thursday. This might be the only other private Q&A, so if it is, you will get this out publicly sooner than later. I got a bunch of questions for you, and you know what? I'm gonna promote my stuff. So, Understanding Bitcoin coming to Dubai, October 14, 15. The Financial Summit, November 6th to 12th, also in Dubai. We'll get Understanding Bitcoin on sale soon. And free learn trading section, products and services. This is the private Q&A. Please review everything here before signing up. On-demand videos, and of course the MRI. Okay, now let's see what the questions are as I maintain the daily chart. All right, got a bunch of non-trading questions. I feel like doing trading first, so let's take a look at some of those. Your pi cycle half is on November 29th, 2021. I guess that coincides with Taproot. I don't think that's my pi cycle half. I'm not sure what that means. Great timing. I guess time is really, really important. Time is important, but November 29, 2021, I'm not sure if my, oh, I gotta look that up. Now I remember what it means. I gotta get that list of dates where my pi cycle, the real pi cycle, is interesting. If that's timed with Taproot, that's absolutely incredible. Thanks for reminding me, Rachul. I will try to get a list of those dates and find those. According to you, which OILS is oils? All right, non-trading question, food question. So I like to use coconut oil and avocado oil, but I know coconut oil isn't ideal for cooking, and avocado oil is a little bit better. There's something to do with heat points. So those are my two preferred oils: coconut and avocado oil. Those are my two preferred oils. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is also not bad, but you want to stay away from vegetable oil. Probably sunflower oil as well, though it's not that bad if you don't cook it. I guess that's your best third option is sunflower oil. It's not that many good, or nut oils, you know, like walnut oil or what do you call it, almond oil. Those are less popular though. All right, let's do some trading questions. All right, we got Mark and Vinay. Guys, I would love to get you on here to say a few words because you're very knowledgeable on a lot of this stuff. Okay, so Patrick, let's go through your list again. I already took a look at JMIA on the public stream. The weekly is starting to flip a little bit today. That's not a big deal. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It hasn't started to flip yet. I mean, I'm still bullish here between the weekly and the daily and JMIA. It looks great. Let's review Alibaba real quick. The weekly chart looks great. It's on a monthly MRI buy and weekly MRI buy. And how's the daily looking? It wasn't really on a daily MRI buy, but Alibaba still looks strong. I would be comfortable raising that stop loss to maybe somewhere around here. Would be nice to see us break the moving average, hit the next moving average, then pull back as the 20-period moving average rounds over. That would be nice. I remain relatively bullish. Sucks that the gap closed, and you still have another gap and another gap, but I'm relatively bullish on Alibaba for now. I don't like this candle though, but the day is not over yet. Well, actually, it is over for China. Okay. All right. I'm not sure I'm following this question, Patrick. Will SPX tank the long MRI buys over the weekend? Oh, I see. If you have stocks that you're going in for the weekend off of MRI buys, you have the daily MRI sell and the SPX. I would be careful. I would really be careful going long any stocks going into the weekend because of the daily MRI buy on the SPX. All right, let's go through your list. IPO list, sort of identify MRI buys on the week. Okay, let's go through this list. We have HMPT. This is an IPO list of an IPO that has fallen a lot. I believe we covered this last time, maybe. And I like the weekly MRI buy, but look at the daily. We've already fallen quite a bit. And even the weekly MRI buy is now, I would wait. I would not buy right now. I wouldn't buy going into the weekend. I would want to see this candle broken. I would want to see a bullish candle trading above current candle on a weekly scale. I mean, maybe there'll be some exceptions. For example, if there is an MRI buy, because we can get a 6 tomorrow, and then sometime mid next week, there could be a daily MRI buy. If that daily MRI buy comes in lower than, well, it has to come in lower than the prior swing lows in order to get that MRI buy. So if there is an MRI buy somewhere in a 370 range, that would be potential buying opportunity off the weekly, followed by a daily. That'd be great. How close are we on the monthly? On the monthly, we're not that close because the IPO hasn't been around that long. But you can also see how it takes 5 months to get the MRI moving. But you can actually shave 2 months right now. Right, so it's be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still too early. Still too early. But yeah, this you lost 4 months right here, setting up the indicator. Potentially a good buying opportunity around $3.75. Yeah, this should definitely stay on the watch list. I mean, I don't know what the company does, as long as the company is not like a shitcoin that has no, no usefulness whatsoever. If this company has some kind of usefulness, then it'll eventually reverse. All right, next we have LGVN. Beautiful MRI top, not great to trade, but good enough. Let me see, this is the daily chart. See, this is different, right? So this IPO, how far did it go down on the first go? Oh, wow, it did fall 50%. Look at that, perfect. Perfect 50% drop off the IPO. Not perfect, it goes off by 1.5%, but you know. But look at this. Beautiful MRI buy here, beautiful MRI buy here. Beautiful MRI sell, and here we go with a big catastrophe. I don't like this consolidation. This consolidation usually leads to one more drop, but how much can this thing drop? It's already $3.60. So I would stay a little bit patient, and on a breakout of the moving average, it's already on a green star. Like if you went long already, can't really fault you for that. But yeah, this thing can easily go back to $6. This would be my target, back to the prior breakdown area and the moving average. So yeah, going from 360. You know what? I'm gonna put this in for the future. You know, your stop loss is the new swing low, and your target is pretty damn sweet. You know, looking for the moving average. Maybe a little bit more. There you go. So that is a 10% drawdown, but you are looking for a 43% rise. All right, next, what do we got? DSP. Oh, beautiful MRI buy right here on a weekly scale. Yeah, I like this. The daily scale got you into a green star candle, was preceded by the weekly MRI. This looks great. Absolutely great. Let's put that in as well. Not going to cherry pick, so we'll pick today. Stop loss. I mean, these are cheap stocks, right? This thing should break out way further if it does. This one's not that cheap, but it's a $20 stock. Yeah, it's an IPO that has fallen significantly more than 50%. And again, if this is a company worth a damn, it's going to go back up. I mean, look at JMIA. JMIA. I mean, we've talked about this pretty much since its IPO. Let's go to the weekly chart. Pretty much since the IPO, we discussed this. I mean, this thing was a huge deal at IPO. Look how much it went up at IPO. Went up 150%, and it became a $50 stock. But then look what happened then after. It was down 88% from the open, but it was down 95% from the high. And we never wrote off this company for dead because it's a real company. It was known as the Amazon of Africa. So they're not going anywhere. And then what a beautiful MRI buy right here, right on March 2020 with the COVID crash. This thing didn't even fall much with the COVID crash because it was falling all throughout 2019. And up we go, and we made a huge high of $70, and now look, we're back to 20. And guess what? MRI buy again. So don't ever write off IPOs that have a legitimate business. I mean, a lot of people wrote off this company for dead when it was trading at $2, coming down from 50. But there it goes. Within a year, it was trading at 70. That's a great lesson. UPC. Wow, weekly chart looks beautiful. MRI buy again. This thing, I need to go to the daily chart. It's hard to measure it. Off the IPO was up 150%, just like JMIA. Off the IPO, fell 52. Look at that. How about that? Daily MRI buy came in, marked the low, literally marked the low right there. Weekly MRI came in, currently still is. I like this. Why wouldn't you? How much more can this thing fall? Look at that. I mean, I'll even give it until down to 220. Again, as long as it's a legitimate company. I mean, I don't have time to do fundamental analysis, but if you're going to be swing trading this, you should do some fundamental analysis and see if this is a legit company with, you know, people that with actual people that use it for something other than speculation. Next, VOR. Looks great. This is what I was looking for in the other companies. It's coming up on an MRI sell on a daily. I mean, the time to buy this was here at the breakout. So like right here with this green star candle, that was the real time to buy. Probably a little bit late to the party here. Your upside is still strong all the way up to the resistance line, but you could also go up and then pull back into the golden cross. So what I would rather do is I would rather buy the golden cross. So I would wait a couple of days, let it go up, and then let it pull down and then off the cross. So that would be my. So this would be my buying opportunity here. Probably at current price, but at least 5-7 days from now. Since I didn't buy here, I would wait for a perfect opportunity at a pullback. That's what I would do. All right, next. SNSC. Yeah, oh yeah, that's way too late. I see your comment, too late. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. When should you have bought? Well, it's the same thing as I said before. You had a couple of options, probably right here. But it's the same problem, right? You're buying here, you're going right into an MRI top and then just kept going. Yeah, this thing needs a pullback. This did not pull back into the golden cross. So same thing, if you get an MRI top, you can buy it back here at under 10 bucks right there. That could be a potential, but or right there, you know, the MRI buy right here with extension C, bottom comes in the next day. This would have been tricky because this would have stopped you out. But then you had an opportunity right here when you were consistently above the low term moving average. So you never really maintain the moving average. For me to break the moving average, you need an entire range of the candle above the moving average. So this is the first candle that officially broke the moving average. And you can see how since this candle came in, we never even came close to closing below the moving average. And this is the candle I wait for, not this one, because this candle spent a bunch of its time below the average. Yeah, too late, unfortunately. JZXN. When did this thing rise? 14%, Patrick. Oh, right here. Yeah, this is probably, I hate this structure. So this is, I hate this descending triangle. I mean, I hate this support. I mean, this thing has all the signs of breaking this support and going significantly lower, but how much lower can it go? It's already a $3 stock. So if this thing continues to consolidate, and keep in mind, this is, whoa, what the hell? This is an IPO that crashed 95%. Again, is this a legit company or is this Bcash? If this is a legit company, then it's more likely that this thing consolidates, you know, into mid-October, let the moving averages catch up, and then does what our prior stock did that we just looked at, SNSC. So I would keep this on the watch list. I would not buy into it. I mean, right here, you're saying it went up off the MRI. Yeah, that's a 10-14% move. That wouldn't be enough for me. I mean, this thing was what, a $50 stock? A $40 stock? Yeah, so this needs to go significantly higher for investors to be worth it. I would wait for a full candle close above the moving average. You can see how right here, none of these candles closed fully, had a full range above the moving average. So it didn't really matter. You need a full candle above the moving average. Let this moving average flatten out. Let this moving average flatten out. And this could be a buying opportunity, but for now, I would stay away from it. All right. We just gone through all of these IPOs. Good job, Patrick. All right, Patrick, got a few more stocks. Let's look at these. Then we got some non-trading questions. Uber. Yeah, we talked about this the other day. Oh, Uber is looking beautiful. Look at that. Look at Uber. I like putting these things on because that means that this is on this day. This is what I was thinking about Uber going up off the weekly MRI buy. We're stuck right at the moving average right now. I believe this is going to break, but be careful. You know, the daily MRI top on the S&P could have something to do with it. But then again, Uber has been down over the last few months while the S&P has continued to rise. So Uber could definitely rise while the S&P is falling because it has done the opposite in the last couple of weeks. Speaking of weeks, yeah, there you go. It's a beautiful chart. I think there's still more upside. I mean, I would now set a break even stop loss. I would not let this trade cost me money. I would set a stop loss pretty much to below yesterday's low. And maybe even below today's low, depending on where we close today and how we open tomorrow. But it's the trade that should not lose you any money at this point. You know, I need to change the color of my stop loss. They are usually blue. Otherwise, I will be confused next week. Next, we have DraftKings. Another stock off a beautiful IPO. Can't believe it's been trading for so long. Yeah, Joe, DraftKings didn't actually IPO. DraftKings took over another company, so it was like a weird merger kind of situation. But in any case, our DraftKings looks beautiful. Very bullish chart. You just got a green star candle. You just reset the bullish count. Football's about to start. Even people that hate and don't know anything about football are playing fantasy football. I know football and I don't play fantasy football. So yeah, I'm bullish. I'm bullish across the board. Weekly, monthly, daily. It's just bullish. It's probably. I hope it's not too late to enter, but it's just bullish across the board. KO, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola with a kind of bullish trade. I'm assuming this was a weekly MRI buy. No, it was a daily MRI buy. We got to it a little bit late. I'm sure I would have said that. The best time to buy this stock would have been right here as you break the top of the prior doji's candle, especially on that MRI buy. I probably saw it a day too late. I still took the trade. I would certainly raise my stop loss at this point. I would not let, because I know I'm in a day late. Like I should have been in at 55.77, and but either way, right now this would be my stop loss line above my entry. Now my entry should have been right above the doji candle, and that means at one point the stock was up 2%. That's not that much. I mean, obviously we are looking for way more upside on a breakout on this trade. So I would just hold on to that trade, set a break-even stop loss, and see what happens. I think that's the only reason why I would even consider this trade being so late to the trade, is because probably on a weekly chart it was looking like it's ready for a serious breakout, and it kind of is. All right, that's it. I just covered all of them. Do you believe eating 3 times or many times a day is also cause of increased cancer? I don't know. I like eating once a day. Maybe twice a day is better. And then you take a couple of days off every couple of weeks and just fast. I don't know what's better, but I know I'm not eating 4 times a day. I'll eat once or twice at most, and that makes me feel better. You are, of course, I believe, from India. Here in our region, agricultural income is exempt from all taxes. Earlier, I used to think this is good for farmers. Now I think Safedine and carnivores are right, and this is just subsidizing agriculture to make all of us more unhealthy. Do you agree? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I think everybody should be exempt from taxes. I think there should be no taxes. So I think there should be only taxes on luxury goods. We can debate if even that is necessary. I mean, if you're buying a boat, you know, or a big yacht, I mean, I mean, tax the super rich and only the super rich and don't let them get around it. You know, that's the only thing, and not much, just a little bit, like a little, like 5%, like nothing serious that would cause your rich people to like move out. But I don't believe people should be taxed at all. Why is Australia going so strict? What's the agenda? Are you hopeful for a revolution? Australia is going so strict because they can. Their population doesn't fight back and they have no guns. Do you think there'll be a revolution? This is the revolution. It's a communist, socialist, Bolshevik revolution. This is it. There's not gonna be I mean, there might be a revolution in Venezuela. There might be a revolution in North Korea. There might be a revolution in Afghanistan one of these days. But the revolution in Australia and Canada, this is the revolution. But the revolution is to turn these countries communist. I mean, that is the revolution. This is the Russia 1917 or China 1949. The revolution is happening. You just got to get out. You got to get out of those countries. But it's hard to get out of Australia because you're not allowed to leave. This is what happens when your country turns tyrannical and communist. You cannot leave. You're not allowed to leave. That's the problem. Let's stop the screen share for this, right? Like, my family couldn't leave Soviet Union. Needed special permission. Which we eventually got in 1989 when Russia was finally collapsing. You could not leave the Soviet Union throughout the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. It's very rare, almost impossible. You had to like run away and try not to get killed while you were defecting the country. This is Australia right now. You can't leave as they turn the country into a tyrannical socialist / communist North Korea, basically. This is the revolution. It's not gonna, you're not gonna have a revolution within a revolution. That's not gonna happen. It's the revolution. There's nothing anybody can do about it. The smart Australians will leave. There is nothing they will be able to do. They have no guns. And maybe in about 25 to 30 years, when their next generation is like totally suppressed enough and socialists running the country run out of money, like what happened in Russia and Vietnam, and it will turn capitalist again. But I have zero hope for Australia or Canada. The revolution is happening right now. It's just not the one you want. NFTs are crazy. Yes, they are. Omar Ben told that he sold a free NFT he got 3 to 4 years back. He placed a sell order for 110 Ethereum and it fulfilled quickly. That's like 8 Bitcoin. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? NFTs are basically affinity scams. I'm sure if I put up an NFT for sale, I can probably get 10 Bitcoin for it, but I wouldn't do that because I have some morals. NFTs are basically pictures of basketball cards, or just pictures of pure nonsense. And it's unfortunate that people are this stupid. According to you, is boiled chicken a healthy enough way to have chicken? Like, I know you don't like chicken. No, I don't like chicken. How you cook your chicken doesn't actually matter. I mean, try not to fry it in vegetable oil. You could probably fry it in like avocado oil. I mean, avocado oil is fairly healthy. And like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I like chicken hearts and I like chicken livers, but cooking food doesn't actually destroy the vitamins and minerals in that food, unless you like burn and destroy the food while cooking. The Pi cycle dates: October 5th, 2019, then November 29th, 2021. All right. Thanks. I gotta find what the hell I did with those dates. I had like a whole Python script for those dates. Yeah, November 29th, 2021. I'll keep an eye on that. I should have put all those dates on like a chart or something. All right, I'm out of focus. All right, guys, I have like 5 more minutes. Hey, Mark, raise your hand if you want to say a few things. Same thing with Vinay. Raise your hand if you want to say a few things. And Patrick, raise your hand if you want to say a few things. Wait, let me turn on my speaker. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Hey, Tone, how you doing?
Hey, man. Okay, I hear you now.
I just have something interesting. You were kind of going over Tyler Jenks's Consensio type thing, and one of the things I've experimented with, especially for Bitcoin or even cryptocurrencies in general, is looking at it on 3-day, which is pretty effective. 4-day is slightly more conservative. I know it's a time frame that we don't look at, necessarily normally, but I have found that Consensio on 3-day is pretty effective, and right now it is pretty bullish.
So let's take a look. So also, Mark, like when you say Consensio, it's actually a little different than when I say Consensio. I use Consensio more generally, and you use Consensio more specifically, because Tyler had his predefined moving average parameters. And I think of Consensio as the moving average concept, and the parameters are up to you as an experienced trader. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. Yeah, when I say Consensio, like talking with you, I am being more specific with Tyler's more specific approach. But one of the things I would mention to him is, that was something that he developed for traditional markets, which traded 5 days a week, 7 hours a day or whatever. And with Bitcoin being 24/7, I just felt that weekly was too slow for his Consensio, for his specific setup.
Let me do screen share real quick. Hold on. So what I'm going to do right now, because I always forget to do the right Consensio. Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is I just cloned my Bitcoin daily chart, and I'm going to change the parameters of the moving averages to be Tyler's Consensio. So what are they on a weekly scale and daily scale according to you, because you've done way more research on this?
Well, it's always the same. It was for him, it was only on weekly. And it was all simple moving averages, smooth moving averages of 3, 7, 30.
3, 7, and 30. So 3. Oh, but I can't use 3. Oh, I can use 3. Okay, great. Because of my forecast. Okay, so I just made a chart specifically for Consensio, and I set these to weekly and daily. Okay, so here they are.
So put that chart on 3-day.
And now we can play around with time frames.
And then there's one big difference right now between 3-day and 4-day, which is keeping me still a little bit more conservative, but they look good.
So on the 3-day, we're fully bullish right now, as of today's candle.
Exactly. Yeah. And now, and the one thing that he insisted upon was the 30 period had to be flat minimally, but better if it was angled up, which is also happening on 3-day, right?
Correct.
So, and if you just back up, I mean, you can back up all the way to around October 2016.
I want to check 4-day. I don't have a 4-day as an option. I have to make it.
So 4-day is interesting, and that's why I brought it up, because the 4-day is bullish, but it doesn't have the 30 period angled correctly yet.
Yeah, you need a few more candles.
It's got the 30 period is still is still kind of trending down. It needs to slow down. So depending on like your risk, I find that if you manage the 3-day, it's pretty accurate for Bitcoin. And then weekly itself, if you put it on weekly, all we need is for the price to hold 46.5. For about 3 more weeks. And Tyler would begin to get interested in entering Bitcoin again.
So looking at the weekly, we just need that moving average crossover next week and we're done.
Right.
But we're going to have an MRI sell coming up. So that's a
That's right. That's going to be tricky.
And Tyler was a big fan of the MRI.
But it's kind of trading sideways into the 9 right now, into the MRI buy.
Right. Sell.
So that actually can be bullish.
It could be, but it'll still take a few more weeks to resolve.
Right. So the main point I was trying to bring up is that on the least conservative view, using a 3-day MA setup, it's fully within the parameters of being pretty heavily invested in Bitcoin. 4-day is keeping you a little bit more conservative, and weekly has, within the next 2 to 4 weeks, we'll have a lot more information.
Yep, I'm deleting all my annotations. I'm going to keep this chart as a Consensio chart. So next time you and I will just go back to this chart for Tyler James's Consensio work.
But I do agree.
I wish he was here.
I know. It would be interesting to see what he would be thinking right now. I'm sure
honestly, I think he would be very bullish right now.
I think he would be too. I also think that I probably could have convinced him to give stronger consideration to 3 or 4-day and take away that conservativeness, just because, I mean, a weekly, those moving averages on weekly, it moves so slow. I mean, it is conservative, and he was super conservative, but you can keep the same concept.
It's conservative, but I mean, this is
just
a
lags
3-day
too much.
chart, and he would have been fully 100% bullish, like breaking out of 10,000, and he would have exited here. He would have been fully bullish, breaking out of 11,000, and he would have been long, at least partially, if not fully, this entire bull run, and then he would have been totally out in this vicinity, assuming you convinced him to do a 3-day instead of a week, because 3 days in Bitcoin is like a week in the stock market.
Right, and one of the other things that I'll use as a loose guide is if candles close below the 30 period on 3-day, it's a pretty early warning sign to maybe just exit for a while.
Yeah.
And it comes much quicker than the signal you'll get on weekly.
Yeah. No, look, a 3-day makes sense, right? Because look, a stock, right? A stock on a weekly scale trades what? 7 hours a day, 7.5 hours a day. 7.5 hours a day times 5. So 7 times 5 is what? 35 plus 2.5. So 37.5 hours. That's all a stock trades in a single week, is 35.5 hours. And Bitcoin trades that in a day and a half. It's a 24-hour market, 7 days a week, for God's sakes.
Right. Yeah, I find 3-day to be a sweet spot for that setup. And if you want to add a little bit of conservativeness, 4-day is like the next best. And I do agree with you. I kind of have my own 3 moving average system which is basically 9 EMA, 21 EMA and 50 EMA. And I use it basically the same way that I learned how Tyler would interact the 3 moving averages he watched. It's if you find a group of moving averages that you can develop a strategy around, it doesn't really matter what the periods are, as long as you can figure out like management tools around that, you know?
Yep. All right, Mark, thanks for joining. I'm gonna
Of course.
Grab Patrick, who wants to say something. And yeah, we'll get back to this, and we'll, keep an eye on the Consensio stuff going forward. All right,
Yeah,
Patrick.
Yeah, I had
Everybody.
questions about trading the IPOs stocks. I assume that you let it ride much longer than I guess you would typically do with like a even a weekly MRI buy.
Oh yeah. No. When you trade the IPO after a 50% drop, you want to be very patient.
Okay, and otherwise, someone traded the same way you do other stocks. Just look for.
Yeah, but again, like I said, there's some fundamental analysis involved. Like for
Okay.
example, if we go over to Uber. Actually, not Uber, sorry, Lyft, because Lyft went first and it completely altered it. So I think Lyft already had a 50% correction here. It did, right? So you're like, well, Lyft is a legit company. I mean, they're going to be fine. You go in over here, you're doing well, and then 2020 is a disaster. Right now, if you had a stop loss set and you got out even at a loss, you get another shot at this. But if you did not go in heavy, I mean, look, literally Vays just provided us like a list of like 50 stocks. So if you're going to diversify, you're going to have very little invested in this. So even if you just patient and had no stop loss and this happened to you, you can double your trade. You can double down on that trade because you just lost, 50% of your position. But it's one of those exceptions where, well, Lyft is not going to go bankrupt. The worst case scenario for Lyft is that Uber buys them out. And usually on a buyout, your stock goes up like 50 to 100%. Like this is where fundamental analysis comes in. And you're like, okay, Lyft is a legit company. I've used it. And it falls from 90 to 20. I mean, a Fitbit or a GoPro, even though Fitbit got eventually bought out. Like you got to be careful. And I've talked about this before on public streams. You want to be careful with companies that have one little product that can easily be reverse engineered and sold at half price by China. I mean, Lyft is not a one-hit little product. It's not like a niche little product that doesn't know how to make money if a cheaper alternative can be bought. Now, I never thought Lyft could do much because Uber is too international and Lyft is domestic to the US. So Lyft is always at a huge disadvantage to Uber, but it's still doing okay. And you can see that we have a bullish trade set up on Lyft right now off of the MRI warning candle on the weekly, and still looking good for us. I would even raise the stop loss to break even.
Okay, so it looks like the main differences are you have to get a little bit deeper to fundamental analysis and be more patient on the duration of the trade. Okay, thanks.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. This was a very good private QA session. We're going to go ahead and end it here. Vinay, stick around. We need to chat. But other than that, I'm going to let everybody go. And we're going to end the recording. Let me stop and share. Thank you all for watching or joining this private Q&A. This should be released in a couple of days. If you guys want to support, you can check out my website, products and services. Private Q&A is what we just did. Educational on-demand videos, and the MRI indicator itself for TradingView. All right, guys, please join us at the conferences in Dubai, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.